Hi, so this is my first Fromm Notes to Self, and to me, this one's going to be kind of a notes to self, not in the future or anything, but to myself last year or just in general in the past, like things I wish I had learned earlier. And the basis of this talk for me is coming from the Fromm section, Problems of Humanistic Ethics, on page 130, oh no, 129. Um, where it says, to love is an extension of one's power to love, and to love somebody is the actualization and concentration of this power with regard to one person. It is not true, as the idea of romantic love would have it, that there is only the one person in the world whom one could love, and that is the great chance of one's life to find that one person. This section really spoke to me because I think too often, me included, most definitely, we're caught up in the idea of true love, of finding soulmates, of this idyllic one person that you're meant to fall in love with, that is your destiny to fall in love with, that your life would not be complete without them. And blame it on movies, blame it on society or anything, but I really like how Fromm says it, that the idea of romantic love would have it there's only the one person in the world whom one could love. And this kind of speaks to me because the idea that love is something that's not just for one person. It can be for any number of people or for any number of situations, meaning like the finding the right person with the right attributes to like satisfy what needs you have at the time isn't really an impossible search. It's not a quest for any kind of magic or um, mythical kind of thing. It's very real and very almost simple, even though it's not simple in its actual outlook. To me, this kind of speaks to me because it's something my dad says a lot, that finding, like he said about college, is like finding the right college isn't like finding a needle in a haystack. It's like choosing among your favorite ice cream flavors. It seems kind of weird, I know, but to me, this kind of ties into the same idea of love, that there's not just one person out there for you, and that if you can't find them, your life is over, or that the last person you fell in love with was the only person for you and you can never love again unless it's with them. Um, to me, it seems kind of ludicrous to think that way, because if you try and contemplate it, like if there was only one person out there for anyone, the fact is the reality of them being in our school or in our community or even in the same country is so minute that no one would ever find their soulmate. I believe really strongly that you have people that you can fit really well in, but it's not a search for something that's one person. Um, kind of going on in the rest of this packet, on the next page it says, if that person you found love for him or her results in withdrawal of love from others, love which can only be experienced with regard to one person demonstrates by this very fact that is not love, but a symbiotic attachment. I really like this section too because it talks about loving one's partner can result in a withdrawal of love from others. And I have experience with this, not firsthand, but with one of my really close friends. She started dating this guy about a year ago, and ever since then, it's always been her boyfriend is first, and our friendship has definitely really suffered for that. And you try to not let it affect it, but I think he speaks pretty true about it, because if the love for one person takes away of your love of many people, that, in my opinion, is a really, really unfortunate thing. And it goes on to say, love of one person implies love of man as such. The kind of division of labor, as William James calls it, by which one loves one's family but is without feeling for the stranger, is a sign of the basic inability to love. So you kind of have this inability, like I said, an inability to love others besides your single partner or your family or whatever it is. But by loving them and only them, you express just your shortcomings. And I think those were the only quotes that I wanted to talk about. But I kind of wanted to tie into this my general notes for self, the idea of finding like one true person and all that kind of ties into my great epiphany I had a while ago, that having expectations or having very high expectations can be a really self-destructive kind of thing. That when you look at a situation and you analyze it too much, which I do a lot, you can come to these conclusions and start thinking about, oh, this is how I want it to be, this is what it should be, not what it is. And that's something I still struggle with, and I hope I can get more in touch with throughout this class. All right, thanks for listening.